Hello friends. So in this experiment we will be studying the Swinburne's test on DC shunt motor. Okay. So we know that there are various testing methods to test the motors. Okay. Many are direct tests, many are indirect tests. Okay. And Swinburne's test is the indirect method of testing the machine where the actual load on the motor is not put. Okay. The theoretical aspect of Swinburne test is already been in detail explained in the previous session of the lab. Okay. And the lecture video of the same is shared with you all. Please go through that video. Okay. In this session now I will be telling you how to simply conduct the experiment and take the readings. Okay. And even the calculation part is been explained to you. Okay. So please go through those calculations once I will give you these readings. Okay. So the circuit has already been connected. So Swinburne's test is conducted on DC shunt motor. Okay. Swinburne's test is conducted on DC shunt motor. Using this test results, I will be calculating the constant losses, and using the constant losses and assuming the currents, load currents or full load currents of the motor and generator, I can get the efficiency of the same machine, the motor, when operating as generator and when operating as motor, depending upon the equations, okay, that I choose. Okay. So here the circuit diagram of the experiment. The aim of the experiment is to predetermine the efficiency of the DC shunt motor using Swinburne's test. Okay. The motor is operated as motor for testing purpose, but using the calculations, okay, test calculations, I can obtain the efficiency of this motor when operating as generator as well as when operating as motor. Okay. So the circuit diagram goes like this. So this is a very simple series circuit diagram. So this is a circuit diagram. Okay. The same connections are being given. Okay. So as per the circuit diagram, the supply is connected to line ammeter of 0 to 5 amps is sufficient. Okay. On board I have 10 amperes. I will be using the same 10 amperes because it is a no load operation. The current will not be much. Okay. Before that, I will show you the specifications of the motor. These are important. So the specifications, please note the specifications of the motor. Okay. Specifications of the DC shunt motor on which I want to conduct the Swinburne's test. Okay. So these are the specifications. The line current is 12 amperes, voltage is 220 volts, shunt wound machine with a speed of 1500 rpm rated, and it is a 3 HP motor. Okay. So the IL in the calculation will be, okay, line current in the calculation will be this 12 amperes. Okay. You should use IL as 12 amperes for this motor. Okay. So this circuit diagram, okay, as per the circuit diagram the connections are done. Okay. So positive of supply is connected to positive of ammeter. Positive of supply is connected to positive of ammeter. Sorry. Positive of supply is connected to positive of ammeter. Positive of supply is connected to positive of ammeter. Here you can see positive of supply is connected to positive of ammeter. Negative of ammeter is connected to line terminal of the 3-point starter. Negative of ammeter is connected to line terminal of 3-point starter. Then field terminal is connected to one end of the rheostat. Field terminal of the 3-point starter is connected to one end of the rheostat. Other end of rheostat is connected to field ammeter. Other end of rheostat is connected to field ammeter positive. Other end of field ammeter is connected to field positive. other end of field emitter is connected to field positive, you can observe. Okay, the negative of field is connected to negative of armature. You can see negative of field is connected to negative of armature, negative of armature is connected to negative of supply. Okay, negative of armature is connected to negative of supply, negative of field is connected to negative of armature and supply. Then armature terminal of the 3-point starter is connected to the positive terminal of the armature, you can observe. Okay, you can observe positive terminal of the armature, negative terminal of the armature is connected to negative terminal of the supply. So this is the connection. Okay, so with this connection I will be starting the 3-point starter. I will see the procedure now. I will look into the procedure. Okay, so connections are made as per the circuit diagram. We have done the connections as per the circuit diagram. Okay, then keep the field rheostat at cutout position. Now I have to keep the field rheostat at cutout position. The current will enter in this terminal from the F terminal of the starter, and it will flow from this slider and it will exit from this terminal out. Okay, so this part of the field wire, rheostat wire, is out of the circuit, hence it is in cutout position. So this is the cutout position of the rheostat. Okay, so second part is done. Third, start the motor with the help of 3-point starter and adjust the speed to rated value. Now I should be starting the motor using 3-point starter. Then I should check the speed of the motor. If it is at rated speed, take the readings. If not in rated speed, adjust this field rheostat and to the rated speed 1500 rpm, then take the readings. Okay, note the readings of all the meters, bring back the rheostat to original position and switch off the supply. Okay, so once I take the motor to its rated speed, then I have to take the readings. What are the readings I should be taking? It is in the tabulation. The no load line current I0, IA0 or I0. The no load line current is obtained from this ammeter, line ammeter, that is 0 to 10 amperes, this ammeter. Field current is obtained from field ammeter. Voltage is obtained from the voltmeter connected. Then no load armature current can be found out once I know the no load line current and the no load the field current. Okay, so I will be starting the motor using 3-point starter. Now start the motor using 3-point starter. First switch on the supply, switch on the supply. Start the motor using 3-point starter. So you can hear the sound that the motor has started. Okay, now we will check the speed of the motor. We will go to the motor shaft. Using this digital tachometer, I will check the speed of the motor. The speed of the motor is 1440 rpm, but the rated speed of the motor is 1500 rpm. Now I should be varying the rheostat so that I will get the rated speed. Okay, I will fix this recording. So I will vary the rheostat so that I will do some value, and I will check the speed once again. The speed is slightly higher than 1500 rpm. So I will adjust the rheostat again. So the speed is 1502 rpm. The speed obtained is 1502 rpm. So now it is sufficient for me. I can press the memory button here. There is a memory button in the digital tachometer. So once I press this, it will show the last red speed. Okay, it is 15 knot to RPM. So my motor is running at rated speed. Now I should take the readings of all the meters. So I will show you what are the readings of all the meters. Only one reading is there in this experiment. So the no load very small. I think this voltmeter is not showing the correct reading. It is showing around 130 volts, which is not true. Maybe there is some calibration error in the voltmeter. I will use the multimeter. I will use multimeter for measurement of voltage. So the voltage is 217 volts. The voltage is 217 volts. The no load line current I0 voltage is 217 volts. Okay. See, the no load line current is 0.9 amperes. The field current is 0.6 amperes. Field current is 0.6 amperes, and the no load armature current will be 0.3 amperes. So these are the readings. These are the readings with which I have to calculate the constant losses and the efficiency of the DC machine. Okay. So you can observe the readings. Voltage is 216, a slight fluctuation. Okay. No load current is 0.9 amperes. Okay. Field current is 0.6 amperes and speed is 1500 rpm. We are taking the reading at rated speed. Okay. Small variations will be there. Okay. So the readings what we have taken, okay, are at the rated speed. So with these readings I will be calculating my constant losses, efficiency of motor as well as generator. So this is all about the Swinburne's test. Okay. So we'll end here. In the next session we will be taking up one more experiment. Okay. Thank you.